Hi, folks. I'll make this video real quick for you to tell you what happened with Charlie Kirk's murder. Now, here's what really happened. The dude's on the building. That's bullshit. The dude changes his clothes on top of the building. That's bullshit. The dude disassembles the weapon on top of the building. That's bullshit. Then goes into the woods and puts it back together, and then puts it in a box on the ground. Then 15 minutes later, they got 15-minute drive away. Right about the same time, they got Robinson on video at Dairy Queen. So see, that's all nonsense. Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk. He's the patsy. Okay, just like the same thing with Donald Trump. It's the same scenario with Donald Trump. Remember the Donald Trump assassination? Tells you that Donald Trump faked that assassination. He just faked his own assassination. But what really happened was, there's a dude down on the platform standing behind Charlie Kirk. And there's a camera up above this dude. This dude's wearing glasses. And so now we're taught that a laser sight, through all the stupid ass fucking movies we're taught to watch on TV, that a laser sight is red, right? You know, but it can be a different color. It could be green, blue, whatever, right? Like the laser pointer, okay? It could be white, whatever. But what it is the dude standing behind Charlie Kirk was wearing glasses. The camera sitting up above there is pointing down at Charlie Kirk, where the entrance wound is supposed to be. This is where the entrance wound took place. No matter what it looks like, this is where it took place. Okay, and the camera has a laser in it, pointing device, that you can only see if you have on special glasses. The dude had his phone and was using his phone like this. He was using his phone that was pointing the laser sight at the neck. What happened after that is either the laser weapon itself came through the camera from the dude, or it was off to the side somewhere, and they shot Charlie Kirk through the neck. But more than likely, because the dude had the glasses on, but still, it could have been another person with glasses on, a little bit away, even hiding, that shot Charlie Kirk through the neck with the laser weapon. Now, it could be microwave, or it could have been laser. So maser or laser, so what? Maser is microwave amplification to simulate emission of radiation. And then you've got laser is light amplification to simulate emissions of radiation. So yeah, so it's one of those two they used that entered in through his neck, and that killed him. And who did it? The dude up on the roof would have been MAGA. And it doesn't seem likely because of the training thing, okay? But they want to blame it on MAGA, right? Because they want to corral MAGA. So Israel would have been the ones that did it, okay? So, because how you know that? Because Netanyahu got up and made 3 videos. We didn't do it. I didn't do it. I don't know what. No. You did it, motherfucker. And then he posted on Twitter 3 times. We didn't do it. I didn't do it. We didn't do it. You did it, motherfucker. Okay, so now we're always talking Mossad. CIA. There's 130 something. There's 100 and something intelligence agencies in the United States. You just talk to look at the CIA. A lot of these agencies are way more powerful than the CIA. Okay. Same thing with Mossad in Israel. They'll teach you to look at Mossad, because they teach you to look at it. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, it's Israel. Now, Candace Owens said that she recognized that dude because she used to be a member of Turning Point USA. She recognized the dude with the glasses. And finally, she couldn't remember who he was, and then she did, and she knew that she had him in her contacts from the past on like either her phone she has now or her old phone. She calls the dude and says, "Hey, I saw you behind Charlie Kirk. I saw you take down the camera. Why did you do that?" Now, if the camera's not the weapon, or the camera isn't the weapon pointing device, why you gotta take the camera down? Because the guy said, "Well, I took the camera down because we're going to turn the footage into the law enforcement agency," which, of course, in this case, would be the FBI. But you only got to take the SD card out to do that. This guy takes the camera down, then removes the SD card. That's symbolic of we're eliminating the evidence. Now, what happens almost simultaneously to this event? Mark Zuckerberg is selling new virtual reality glasses that look like Ray-Ban military glasses. Well, they're not, the kind that military pilots wear, you know what I mean? Ray-Ban, they look like that. And what happens almost in lockstep with Charlie Kirk's death, Zuckerberg drops the glasses. In other words, what's the first letter in Zionism? Z. So they're telling you the person that dropped Charlie Kirk is the guy with the glasses. That's how they operate. Okay. So now they're setting up Candace's own, though. There's no doubt. Because Candace said that she called that dude, she talked to the dude. He was so forthcoming. He was so above board. He was so not standoffish. He immediately said, "Oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I have the footage." She's like, "Can you send it to me?" And he's like, "No, I can't send it to you, but I'll do a Zoom call with you where I'll show you the footage. You're Candace Owens, you're so important." That tells you they have her in their sights. They're setting her up somehow. They're so sick of her because she's so smart. And she just goes where the evidence takes her. They got her. I'm not saying they're gonna get her. I'm just saying they got her in their cross sight. They have her in their crosshair. There's no doubt about that. So she said that he showed her the footage, and she goes, "There's nothing gory. There's nothing gory there. There's nothing gory there." If a laser goes through you, it cauterizes the wound. That blood would have been fake. The people up on the stage would have been the orchestrators of killing him. The people standing right around him. Remember in Excalibur, he said, King Arthur asked Merlin, "Where does evil hide?" Well, I was right where he least expected. So that's the explanation for Charlie Kirk getting killed. Now, why did they kill him? Because he changed course. At first, he was, Zionism, Israel. And he started to realize it was bullshit. And he started to talk in different ways about it. And Turning Point USA is the number one youth political movement in history. So he had a lot of influence. See? And he had been getting a lot of money from the Zionists. And then he was saying what they wanted him to say. But then he started to realize that they're basically are the reason why America is deteriorating. It's because of Israel and the Zionists. And so he started, he started posing questions about them. He started not being so supportive of them. Then he started saying, behind the scenes to people that he hated Netanyahu. Everybody hates Netanyahu. Nobody likes that motherfucker. Okay, so, Netanyahu is 100% pure evil. Period. There's not a redeeming bone in him. He's as evil as the devil. He's as evil as Elon Musk. They're both as evil as it gets. Is Trump that evil? Yeah, he is that evil. Yeah. Yeah. They're all that way. So, the three I mentioned. So, and Netanyahu's not even the worst one of Zionists. He just represents, he more or less represents the middle. There's motherfuckers out there in Zion, I mean, over to Israel and Zion that's way worse than him. Way worse. So, yeah. But the problem is the reason why they wanted to blame that shooter on MAGA, while a lot of people were why they were trying to lead your mind to believe that he was MAGA. He is MAGA. And that he did it, is because the Zionists are afraid of MAGA. Why? Because within MAGA, about 10% of MAGA would be about what, 6-7 million people. That many people would never tolerate a Jewish Zionist, a so-called Jew. Zionists aren't really Jews, but so-called Jewish Zionists running their country. They would never capitulate to it, and those people are armed to the teeth and will fight them to the death. And Israel don't have an army that big. Nobody has an army 7 million people. Nobody. So that's the story. There you go, folks.